Good morning, everyone. It is Monday. We are starting our new week this week in social studies with a project. So first off, it's a project that is going to give you some power. You have the option to do this once a day or multiple times throughout your day. What this project is going to be is you recording a really crazy but important time during history. With this COVID-19 outbreak, obviously it has affected not just you and I, but the entire country, right? The fact that we are doing schooling like this, the fact that we've changed the way we're living, our new normal is completely different than what our old normal was. A lot of things are developing right now. And so this year in social studies, we had talked about different narratives that are told throughout history. We had talked about his story and her story, right? And now you actually have the opportunity to become historians and create a piece of history that could be used later on. Pretty cool. So we figured we want you to take advantage of this moment and become historians. And the way we're going to do that is a couple different things. So when you open your Google Doc, which I'm looking at right now, you are going to see the project written out for you. There are two pieces of information that I think we should go over before we start this. Two vocabulary words that you might not be familiar with are chronicle and a primary source. So when you see the word chronicle, it means when something is factually written. It could be written or a video account of something important that has happened in history. And when you chronicle it, it's going to be in the order that it has happened. So if something happened on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's in a chronological order, which is how you're going to keep your journal entries. Your journal entries are also going to be a primary source. What this word means is that it's an original document that has not been changed in any way. It comes straight from you to your computer, right? There's nobody who's gotten in the way or changed what you've said. It's come directly from you, your thoughts, and into the computer. And it's a reliable firsthand account. And it's usually written at the time that the event has occurred. So for our event, for this coronavirus, we are the people who are experiencing it. We are the people who are affected by it. And so therefore, we are the ones who are going to record it and create a primary source for people to look back on later in life. Some examples of primary sources that you have already been exposed to are newspapers, autobiographies, memoirs, photographs, audio recordings could be a primary source, video recordings, speeches, all of these things are actual primary sources. And as you're including these in your journal entries, we want you to think about bias, omission, and stereotypes that you are creating history. So are you leaving anything out? Are you noticing stereotypes that are happening? Are you omitting things that are happening? Because your story is the one that's being told, and we want to make sure that it's told in the most direct way. So, later on in life, maybe 20, 30 years down the line, maybe this will be in a textbook somewhere, who knows? But this is something that is very rare and in my lifetime, it's never happened, and I'm sure in your parents' lifetime, it's probably never happened as well. So it's something that's a historical moment right now. And as we embark on social studies, we're thinking, let's use this moment and become historians. So your job is to basically observe the changes that are happening in your community. Think about the country, the USA, right? Or the world in general, and how the world is responding to COVID-19, right? What's going on in the world right now? So this is something you can talk about with your parents. I'm sure you're overhearing conversations or pieces of things on the news. So let's get involved and try to understand what's happening and take that information and put it into a journal entry. So you're going to pay attention to what you're seeing around you every day, what you're hearing among your friends, within your family and your community. And then when you do your entry, here's your choice. You can use videos. You can enter videos into the document. You can enter written language. You can enter poetry. Maybe you do a sketch, a short story, a comic, any kind of way that you want to express what's happening. It's totally up to you. But we want you to be creative. So if it's just typing a couple of sentences, sure, that's fine. But if you can, we'd love to see some creativity. Maybe it's a drawing you did about how you're feeling that day. Maybe it's a poem you've written, however it is that you want to express yourself, okay? Also, much like when we record notes in our notebook, we always put the date on top. We're going to do the same thing for this journal entry because we want now, if later on in life people look back at this, they can say, oh, this was the date that this primary resource was recorded. So you're going to write the month, the day, and the year for each entry. And you're going to put the newest entry on top of the document in your Google Doc so that each day when you add on your new entry, it's going to just keep going down with the older ones and the newer ones will appear on top. And this is all, again, inside of your inside of the document that's titled 4CD Historical Journal, okay? Some guiding questions for you to consider as you're doing your entries is, how is today different from yesterday for you, for your family, in your neighborhood? Maybe there's something different going on. What feels more special? What feels harder? What does your neighborhood look like? Are people walking around? What's open? What's closed? How is learning at home similar or different from learning at school? What's the best thing about learning from home? And what's the most challenging thing from learning at home? I mean, a lot of kids across the world are experiencing remote learning for the first time. So we want your thoughts, we want your feedback. So if you can record that, that would be great. What new announcements are being made by the government? Do they make sense to you? How will they change your life? How are others in your family responding to these changes? Do you see any examples of inequality in the events that are happening today? Are there things that some people can do, some people have, that maybe others can't? Are certain people maybe getting access to being able to be tested while other people aren't? These are all things that are currently happening that you can record and give your thoughts about. What can you and your family do to help your community during this time? What made you happy today? What made you sad? What questions do you have? We want to know what kind of self-care activities you're doing. And there's a bunch more prompts here for you to kind of take a look at and decide to help you lead your thoughts when you do your journal entries. We don't want this to be like, today is Monday, March, blah, 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 blah. And the coronavirus is now at 85,000 in the US. Like, we don't want to know the numbers and the data. We want to know more about how you're feeling about those things in a creative, thoughtful way. If you have questions, please reach out to us. You can email us directly. Or you can, I think email is probably the best way. If you have questions, just email directly. But we thought this could be a creative way for you to use this time, this historical moment right now, to create a primary resource. And we're not sure that, well, hopefully there won't be another outbreak of corona or a virus like this. So hopefully this will be your last time ever having to do this. But we thought you can take advantage of this moment in history and perhaps influence future generations about what they're going through and maybe give them some guidance. That being said, it is great to see you virtually. I wish I could see you back, but if anyone has questions, please reach out, and we hope you have fun with this and we hope you enjoy it. I'm certainly looking forward to reading what you write. Okay, take care.